Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keegan Heaton, and I did aerospace machinery at CU Boulder. Ooh, yay. Where was my internship? My internship was at CU Boulder, the SMED Aerospace Engineering Department. It was the Eastern building. It was the newer building of the campus. It was really, really cool. This is the building. It had 4 floors. The first floor was where all the teachers taught their classes, and the second to 4th floors were all research floors. What was my internship? I learned how to model and program using SolidWorks. Most of it was SolidWorks. I learned how to CNC, learned how to use milling operations, STL files, how to use 3D printing, resin printing. I learned how to machine using aluminum, a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Okay, so a big thing of CNC machines is the coolant part. Coolant is what keeps the metal from overheating and breaking your mills, which is what you use to chip at the metal. This stuff smelled like pumpkin when it was good, and when it was bad, it smelled like rotting pumpkin. It kind of ruined pumpkin spice for me a little bit, but it's fine. So it's cool that I was able to do that because you only need to change coolant every 2 years. And at this point, this coolant had been overdue by, I think, a year. So it was pretty bad, although there was one that was like blue, and it was like mucusy. It was, ooh. Just thinking about it makes me, this is a DAC. This is a collection device that they would put into their class projects for their, I think it was their intro to aerospace. Yeah, I worked with that with a TA that was working with me. Anyway, this they would put in like their model rockets or just all the class projects, and it would, let's see, what did this one do? This one did altitude and temperature. This little like double ring one right there at the very bottom, the red one was the temperature gauge, and the one above it, the blue one, was the altitude gauge. Really, really cool. This was the mock thruster test. It used a combination of solid fuel, hydrocarbon, along with pressurized, it was a gas, and then we would pressurize it to become a liquid, and then the control panel there would set that liquid off. And we would measure the thrust it gave off by there was a weight. It's at the very bottom there, just above that like cap. The person smiling at the camera is Matt Rode, and despite what Sarah told me, he's actually very nice. This was my final project that I did. This is my last name, Heaton, in Swastro. It's a very interesting font. The really interesting part about this was the difficulty. We had to really bend the rules with this one because of the small holes it had and just the irregularity of it. It was made from, I believe, aluminum. So this is where I talk about like milling operations. Milling operation was a programming tool that was inside SolidWorks, and it would tell the machine, especially the CNC machine, CNC computer, normal computing, very fun. It would guide the CNC machine through pretty much every single step. And you would have to define like the size of your material, the kind of material, the end mill you were using, all of that stuff. So you make sure that it's precise, because I believe the precision was down to 0.005. Very, very precise. I had a lot of trouble with measuring, since that was like what I did most of the time. An STL file was used for 3D printing and resin printing. It would triangulate what you had modeled in SolidWorks and make it readable for a 3D printing machine. Very, very cool. It was a little weird because whenever I was working with Katie, she was one of the people I worked with, it was hard to make supports. It's impossible for me. I had so much trouble with that. Advice for Pintern, challenge yourself, especially whenever the internship that you're going to is project-based. They want you to make up your own projects and put time into it so that you understand and can ask questions later. That's what I went through. Let's see, did I get everything there? Just making sure. Yeah. Things I did fun on the side. This is a pic of the Star House. It was a community building that was going for its anniversary last year. It was really cool community building. We did a lot of youth project stuff, and I had a lot of fun with the kids that were there. I didn't really do much. I got a little too invested in my work and just spent most of my time modeling. I was like on my computer 8 hours a day, staring into my computer screen. It was not healthy, but it was really fun. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Sarah, Pinhead, and all my friends and coworkers at Smead Aerospace. And yeah.